Hi, my name is Courtney Kroger, and this is Module 5, Understanding My Community. I teach in St. Mary's, Kansas. We are actually at the Kaw Valley USD 321, and Kaw Valley is made up of the towns of St. Mary's and Rossville. But I'm going to be telling you about our community that I teach in, St. Mary's. So some of the customs and traditions, it is a very small town with very friendly and kind people. So if you're walking down the street, people are always greeting each other because they know everyone. It is a very strong Catholic community. A lot of the town is built around the St. Mary's Catholic Academy, which has their own private school. It's called the St. Mary's Academy and College. I teach at the public school, the St. Mary's Elementary, the grade school, which is a public school. Many of the families in this town live by the old Catholic traditions. All of the women you'll see walking around town with long skirts. And the Academy families all have multiple children within their families. Now, some of the Academy families go to the St. Mary's Catholic Academy, and some of the Academy families come to our public school. So it's very common for us to see families, even within our school, that have, 17, 18 kids in their family. Just very large families. Many of the families who live in the community work at Jeffries Energy Center, which is an energy center right outside of St. Mary's, has a lot of people working there, or Onyx, which is in Bellevue, Kansas, which is about 10 minutes from St. Mary's. Some of the population characteristics. St. Mary's is located in between Manhattan, Kansas and Topeka, Kansas. Its population is about 2,793. It is mainly Caucasian, with a percentage of 84.4% of the population being Caucasian. 10.8% of the population is Hispanic. Two or more races would be 4.2%, and there's only 0.54% African American. Like I said before, it's a very dominant Catholic community, so 90 to 95% of the population is Catholic. And like I said before, some of those belong to the Catholic Academy, and then some of those belong to just the general Catholic, which I'll explain later, which is they're just two completely separate different things. Most people are employed by Jeffries Energy Center, Custom Woods, or Onyx, and then smaller businesses. There are some smaller businesses in town as well, and most of those are owned by local Academy families. So we have two school buildings just within St. Mary's. Like I mentioned before, Kaw Valley is actually made up of Rossville, which has a high school and elementary school, and then St. Mary's has a high school and an elementary school as well. All of our schools are Title I schools. Our St. Mary's High School has about 296 students, with about 52% being male, 47% being female. 106 of those students are approved for free or reduced lunch prices, which is about 37.6% of the students. And at our St. Mary's grade school, where I teach at, there's about 333 students. About 52% of them are male, 47% are female, and 143 students are approved for free or reduced lunches, which is about 44%. So about half of our elementary students are approved for that. Some of the communication channels within our town. So with our school district, like I said before, it's called Kaw Valley USD 321. We have our website, which is we have a school website for just the elementary school and for the high school, and we also have a district website for everyone. So you'll see stuff for Rossville on there, you'll see stuff for St. Mary's on there. It has everything you could possibly want to find is on our district website. We also have a Bears Broadcasting, our high school technology program. They do what they call a Bears Broadcasting, where some of the high school students, they have like their local news channel every morning, where the students watch it every morning. It just gives daily information about the sports that are going on that week, any information or activities that's happening with the school, anything you can think of. We also have social media. We use Facebook pages a lot for the grade school, high school, also Twitter. And then our school, our principal sends out monthly newsletters to everyone and all the parents in our district, and calendars. And then a lot of the teachers within my school also send out weekly newsletters from their own classroom, letting parents know what's going on within their classroom. Within the town of St. Mary's, we have a newspaper called the St. Mary's Star, which highlights all of the sports, academics, everything like that. A lot of times around Thanksgiving and Christmas, a lot of our little kids, like I teach first grade, we submit our letters to Santa or how to cook a turkey papers. That way people can see also things that are going on within the elementary school. There's also some local Topeka and Manhattan news channels that highlight important topics from St. Mary's. Some of the community groups. We have 4 churches within St. Mary's. The St. Mary's Academy, like I talked about before, the Immaculate Conception Catholic Church, St. Mary's United Methodist Church, and the St. Mary's Bible Baptist Church. So within all of those, there are many youth group programs. We also have a Chamber of Commerce. And then within our school, we have a huge booster club who does all sorts of activities throughout the school year. We host many family nights for families to come in with their kids. We have a carnival in the fall. We have a PTA and our school board. So lots of organizations. So some of the leadership in our town. Some of our common St. Mary's leaders within St. Mary's. Our mayor is Francis Awerkamp. We have 5 commissioners. Our police chief is Josh Winkleman, and he has 5 different police officers working under him. Our Kaw Valley leaderships, we have 1 superintendent for our whole district. So 4 schools, 1 superintendent. His name is Kerry Laycock. We have 7 school board members, and like I mentioned before, since it's 1 district, we also only have 1 school board as well. At St. Mary's High School side of it, there's a principal and an athletic director who's also our assistant principal. And then at the elementary school, we just have a principal who is our leadership. Community leaders characteristics. I would say that the leaders in our community of St. Mary's are very invested, supportive, and passionate, and with everything that they do, you could always see them throughout the communities at different activities. Even our elementary school principal, she goes to a lot of the high school athletic events, any of the high school activities. Same with our superintendent and everyone. You see them all around the community at all schools. Almost all of the school board members are from St. Mary's and have been there for quite a while, so they're very invested in what we are doing within our school and very supportive. They've always been supportive of me as a teacher and as a coach, and so I've never had any issues. They always invite everyone to come to the school board meetings and to the city council meetings to discuss different topics that may affect the town. And then some of the district leadership members are new to the community. We have our high school principal, he's new to the community this year. But like I said before, he's also very invested and, wants to better our school. His kids go to our school. He's just, he's there for everybody to get better. Some of the economic conditions of St. Mary's. The median age is about 26.3, which is very young. I would say that a lot of people are in and out all the time with, like I said before, a lot of people come to work at Jeffries Energy Center, and I would say that's kind of a younger crew. With the academy is actually an elementary school and a college. And so some people go there for just elementary school and college, and then they leave. I've mentioned before in some of my other assignments, a lot of the teachers that teach in St. Mary's don't live there. They live in Manhattan, Maple Hill, Topeka, and all surrounding areas. The median household income is about $52,000. The median property value is about $139,000. Poverty rate is 10%, and the crime index is very low. We've never really had much of a problem with crime. The largest industries are manufacturing, educational services, and healthcare. Like I mentioned before, Jeffries Energy Center is a huge income factor for our community. A lot of people work there. Onyx, like I mentioned before, is in Bellevue. They make custom things for cabinets, showers, anything for your house pretty much. Custom Woods makes cabinets, all sorts of things. And then we have a hospital in St. Mary's where we have our healthcare at. We also have a very large farming community. A lot of farmers around the area, a lot of farm grounds, all of that. So our political structure, we have the city political structure, which consists of a mayor and then the city council, which I mentioned before has 5 commissioners. Then we have our school political structure, which starts with our school board would be at the top, and then our superintendent, and then our principals. Our school is funded by state and local taxes. It's also, like I mentioned before, a Title I school, so we receive funding for that. And we also receive grants for our preschool program. We do have some social tensions in our town. I know I keep mentioning the academy, but it's just different. If you have a chance to ever look it up or Google it somewhere, it's very, very interesting. The St. Mary's Academy is a Society of St. Pius. It's actually not recognized by the Catholic Church anymore, so they have very different values and beliefs and very religious differences compared to, some of the other people in the town. But St. Mary's is made up of a lot of people who attend the St. Mary's Academy. Families are large, like I mentioned before, sometimes 16, 17, 18 children in a family. The school, as you can see in the picture above and below, it's huge. It looks like a college campus. It's kindergarten through college. They offer an associate's degree. But the problem is that the reason that there are some social tensions is because they don't really offer academics for children who may be low or on the need of special education. So any student who needs special services comes to our school, which is why the public school actually has a lot of students who are on IEPs. And, we have our functional classroom has a lot of students in there whose family members are all part of the academy, but they can't go to the academy because they don't provide those services. And like I've mentioned many times, that they have different beliefs, they have different values. All the women wear long skirts, so they kind of look down upon those of us who don't dress that way. Boys and girls are completely separated in classrooms, so boys go to a classroom at the top of the hill up there, and the girls go to a school down below. They never intermix throughout all of high school, any of that. Same with sports. It's like kind of looked down upon for the guys to watch the girls play sports and things like that. There's just, different beliefs and things like that. So there's some social tensions within our town. I would say that we don't have any gangs or things like that. So the crime rate's really low. And besides those few tensions between the different Catholic groups, there's no really issues or things like that. Here are just some extra resources for information. You can find our district reports at the Kaw Valley website. St. Mary's Business Directory offers all of our businesses in town, the Census Bureau, St. Mary's Chamber of Commerce, and then all of our Kaw Valley board meetings and minutes. So power structures at our grade school, it starts with PLC teams. We have grade level PLCs, so first grade through sixth grade. Preschool through sixth grade. Then goes to our building leadership team, our district leadership team, our building principal superintendent, and then our board of education would be at the top. A few of our multicultural issues in St. Mary's, I'd say that's a middle class economic community. 84% students are Caucasian, 16% are other, and almost 50% of our students qualify for free or reduced lunches. I think it's just a lot of those really very large families. So we don't really have much chance for students to travel and things like that. So, or, a lot of people don't do a lot of that. So our high school classes, we offer a Spanish club, and they actually have a chance to go to visit other countries. Right now they're in Costa Rica. So it gives kids a chance to see other cultures. The power structures, the PLC team will meet and then bring any issues or concerns that they have to the BLT representative. Then the BLT team will meet, bring those to the district leadership team, then where the superintendent will address those issues. Our Booster Club does a great job of getting families of the community involved in our school. We have parent volunteers within our school all the time. We have watchdogs where dads come in and volunteer within the day. And then we've started having climate surveys to give to parents to see what they would like to see within our school. So we host a lot of family nights at our school and really try to get the community involved. Measuring public opinion. Within this past year, we started giving a school and climate survey to all parents and students grade 3 through 6. And some of the opinions back was that everyone felt safe and welcome. Everyone felt their students were receiving good public education. Students had great relationships with their teachers and peers. Parents would like to see an improvement in communication from teachers, though. So next year we will be sending more emails, communicating with parents more, talking with parents quarterly, to each parent about how their child is doing within the classroom. And then this just kind of sums it up, the same thing I talked about just a minute ago. The survey was administered online. It was sent to all parents, but not all parents filled out their survey, so that is something we'd really like to improve on next year, and we could do that by, maybe dropping off and picking up the surveys, mailing them, or calling them on the telephone. So that is just something we'd really like to work on, is our communication with our parents and our community. So that's it. Thank you.